thing. He love that bum bum bum. He love that thing. He love that hit me right.
I'm Angelique Roche, and I get the opportunity of being up here for our next panel. Are you excited? Well, without further ado, I'm going to bring to the stage a lot of people who you probably don't need to be introduced to, but I'm going to do it anyway. Karen Gillan, Lee Pace, and Chris Evans.
Where do I go? Ugh.
Well, hello.
Hello.
Hey there.
Here we are at Ace Comic-Con.
Woohoo, Chicago.
It's Chicago. You got a lot of fans out there. Also, the hat game. I see this happening.
I literally just said I'm so glad you're wearing a hat. I'm so glad you're wearing a hat. It's a nice
Wait,
hat.
you didn't plan this?
No.
Oh.
These are actor hats
Oh, we'll talk
when
about
they're
that.
off duty.
So, I'm just going to go right out the gate. You, all three of you, are starring in some of our favorite movies that have already come out but are also coming out. And basically are literally one of multiple of the best kept secrets ever. I am not going to ask you for any secrets yet. But how hard has it really been keeping these secrets and still keeping these secrets on these upcoming movies?
I mean, it's almost the Marvel way. I think I've been doing these films for a while now. So as the Marvel universe has kind of increased in popularity, the secrecy has kind of moved.
So you've trained yourself.
Well, it just kind of has evolved in a very, analogous way. With every new movie, there's a slight tweak in the secrecy, and in the last film, they weren't even giving out scripts. It never feels new. It always feels kind of par for the course, and for good cause.
So, Karen.
Yes.
For many fans, we saw you alongside the 11th Doctor.
Woohoo! I can see a TARDIS over there as well. It's
There is
taking
a
me
TARDIS.
back.
It was the first picture I took when I got in the room. I was very
Good
excited.
choice.
I mean, you can never go wrong with the TARDIS.
You really can.
So needless to say, you've spent a lot of time in space and in
Yes.
time.
Mm-hmm.
What was the biggest challenge for you jumping from Doctor Who into literally taking over the persona of Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy?
I mean, it's sort of... I now, in retrospect, think it's kind of similar. I mean, I worked on a lot of spaceships, time traveled and ran around space for years. And then I got the role of Nebula in the first Guardians of the Galaxy. And I just remember being incredibly intimidated. I was like, this is a big Hollywood movie and I work on British television and what the hell is happening? And then I walked on set for the first day with Lee, and then I realized, oh, this is just another bigger spaceship and I've got this. It's going to be fine.
Lee, Ronan, also known as Ronan the Accuser. The last time we saw you was in Guardians of the Galaxy. And, you were working with the Mad Titan, Thanos, and Nebula. How did you prepare for that role, and what was the most memorable moment for you?
Interesting question. How did I prepare? It's, actually Ronan is a lot more like me than any of the other characters I've played. So, actually it was a big relief to kind of just, be the real me. You know what I mean? I spend so much time in movies and stuff behaving like a human and acting like a human that it was kind of refreshing to just kind of you know, just let it fly. You know what I mean? You know. So yeah, there's that. But my most, I guess, memorable thing. I mean, it was like the first time I walked onto the set, because you have to understand, like, I was painted blue, and then I was painted with the big black stuff on my face, and then I had to put pounds and pounds of costume on, and then the helmet, which covered up my ears, and then the contacts that covered up my eyes, and you kind of walk out on stage and you can't see anything or hear anything, and they give you the hammer, and it's like, go, and you're like... I'll remember that. Yeah.
So, Chris, Captain America first appeared in 1941, but for a decade of fans, you are literally Steve Rogers. Like, you... arguably the physical manifestation of the moral compass of the Avengers. What has been the most memorable part of playing a character that so many fans are so deeply connected to?
It's tough, because you have memories that are a little more shared, and you have memories that are a little more personal. I mean, moments even just like this, like that really felt wonderful to hear, and it was nice to hear, some cheers. Oh, and I wasn't fishing for it. You don't have to just listen. You have to. It's not to seem saccharine. Maybe it's the more personal moments, without question. It's the more intimate moments when you kind of process that you are part of something that means a lot to for a lot of time. I mean, I got to say, it does feel almost kind of like it's happening to somebody else. I know that's a bit of a common expression. Sometimes it does feel like it's a little out of body-ish, and then over long enough period of time, it does. You start to really feel connected to the experience, and connected to the character, and connected to the world, and Man, I'm really killing this answer, aren't I? I don't really know how to answer this one. I couldn't tell you what the most memorable thing is. It comes in really subtle ways. But it is the more personal things. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. So...
So all you're saying is every single moment was memorable, and I'm here for it.
Man, I really butchered that. That was a lot of talking about nothing.
Well, next question. We got you. Being a superhero is tough, and being a supervillain is also tough. And it seems pretty physically demanding for all of you. Can you tell us a little bit about how you physically prepared for your roles, and what does superhero training look like?
Well, for me, it's kind of weird because I have a lot of prosthetics on my face. So I feel like that's just like an extra layer to the difficulty of fighting and all of the combat stuff. I probably should prepare more physically, like stretching and stuff, but I don't. I don't know. I mean, the movements and stuff for the character, like... It's all informed from the voice that I'm doing, because basically when I started playing Nebula, the director was like, "Can you do an impression of Marilyn Monroe?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah." And then that kind of informed like the movements and everything. So everything kind of stems from that one piece of direction, which is cool.
Which is weird, because the exact same thing they asked me about Cap. I was like, "Yeah, I mean, okay."
Perfect impression.
And that's what I've been doing ever since.
Lee?
Yeah, there was lots of working out and eating protein, and we worked.
Very important.
No, it's really they'll blend up a chicken breast and put it in your hand, and you'll drink it, and it's all normal. But then and then the fight training, that was fun. We worked out the big fight that I did with Drax, and yeah, I like that stuff. It was fun.
So, Chris, the upcoming Avengers movie is still yet untitled. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask. But if you could come up with a title for the movie, what would it be?
Yeah, this is a tough one. You know, I don't know. You don't want to give anything away, and I should clarify that. You know, I know I did tweet something that made a lot of people think that it was in some way spoiler, and I should clarify that regardless of how Avengers 4 ends, I would have tweeted the exact same thing. You know, it really was, you know, that last day of filming was a very emotional day, and it's the culmination of almost 10 years of filming and 22 movies, this unbelievable tapestry, and, you know, you feel a lot more emotions than I think even I thought I'd feel, and you know, I felt it was appropriate to share the gratitude. I know it had a ripple effect, but I am neither confirming nor denying anything, and to that end, I think anything I would, any sort of label I would give the Fourth Avenger would give away too much, and
It's a smart man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a nut I'm not going to be able to crack,
Really
guys. I'm going to keep trying, though. Karen, you have really embodied Nebula. Even shaving your head for the role.
Yeah.
Are there...
Bald.
Are there... hey. Cheers.
It's very liberating to be bald. Yeah. And hair insulates a lot.
It seems like it would be very breezy.
Oh, yeah. Feeling a nice breeze on the top of my head. Although I'm really tall, so a lot of people thought that I was a man. A lot.
Are there, speaking of, great segue, are there any parts of your personality that you brought to Nebula's character, whether in the beginning or as the character has evolved?
I mean, I would say out of all of the characters I've played, this is the biggest departure from my own personality. I mean, I hope. She's like a sadist. But, I mean, I definitely, like, brought aspects of myself to help me understand the character. You know, the most interesting element of the character, I would say, is this overlooked sibling element. And you know, she's jealous and bitter and tormented, and her sister's just like the better, prettier, better at fighting one. So, you know, that was interesting for me to play. I don't have any siblings, but I can imagine that being overlooked by your parents and you know, being in a relationship with your sister like that has got to be pretty awful. But yeah, no, she's not like me.
So, Lee, recently it was announced that Ronan, who we last saw losing a very epic dance battle, would be coming back for a certain 2019 movie, Captain Marvel. What can fans look forward to seeing from Ronan when we see him again? Can you tell us anything about how you're prepping for this movie?
No, I can't tell you anything. No. You wouldn't want to know, right?
No.
Watch the movie, right?
Right. We're very much looking forward to it. Are you excited? Did you jump up and down when you're like, yes, Ronan?
Yeah, absolutely. It was exciting to come back. Yeah. Krista. Yeah, it was fun to get back into it, and I learned a lot about the Kree working on it this time, which I found really interesting. And it's a cool world to be a part of. So, I mean, I was doing a play in New York at the same time, so it was like the, you know, kind of craziest thing to juggle doing both of these at the same time.
That's the position, I'm sure.
I mean, it was...
For the fans out there, what play were you doing?
I was doing Angels in America.
Wow, that is a contrast.
It couldn't be more different, but it was kind of it was a good time. It's always fun.
So for everyone on the panel, 2019 is going to be a big year. I know you couldn't possibly tell us any details. I say this again. I just want to make sure we keep confirming that I understand. But what are you personally most excited for fans to see in the upcoming releases? I'm killing Chris here. I'm so sorry.
There's just nothing that I can say, but there's so much good stuff. There's so many good things. I mean, I guess all I can say is, if Marvel has proven anything, it's that they just know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. I don't think they've missed a beat. I mean, they're you know, their worst mistakes are other studios' like biggest blessings. You know what I mean? Like they don't miss. They don't miss, and they have not missed with this one. And it really is just an incredible culmination of this unbelievable tapestry of I mean, how many individual series is it? Is it like, what is it, 6, 7 individual plots coming together? I don't know that it's never been done before, and I don't know that it'll ever be done again. And then they really, you know, stick a flag in the ground on this one and pull out all the stops, and you won't be disappointed.
Karen, Lee.
I'm excited to see what the other actors are doing in the movie because it's such an incredible cast. You know,
That says so
Brie
much how
Larson.
you're like, I want to see what everyone else is doing in the movie.
No, I'm just curious to see them. I mean, Brie Larson, Jude Law, Samuel Jackson, Annette Bening. That's a pretty dope cast. So I'm excited to see, you know, what they do. You know.
It's so much more than 6. How many actual plots are... It's more than 6. Did I say 6? It's like 9. There are so many. Sorry.
Karen.
I mean, I didn't even get a script for the movie, so I'm looking forward to just seeing the movie and knowing what the hell is going on and how my scenes fit into the overall context. I think it's going to be pretty great, though.
All right, so we're going to do something fun. Are you ready to do something fun with me?
Yes.
We've got fan questions, which... there are literally people racing to the microphone. Please don't hurt each other. Be safe.
Now, did they know not to go until you said fan question?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just
I've been in
that
enough
good,
airports
Chris.
to
I
know
don't
that that is not in human nature.
So first
Very,
we're going to
very
take
obedient.
questions from the app. For those of you who put your questions into the app, we did not forget about you. So I'm going to pick at random. Ooh. All right, this is going to be a weird one, but I'm going to do it anyway because fans
Yes,
get
weird
to
is
ask.
good.
Weird is great. So, Karen,
Yes.
Mauve from France.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Très bien.
If Nebula gets to kill Thanos herself, how do you think she would do it?
Oh, this is a real
tough
delicate balance. Or is it? I don't know. I mean, if I could, like, just abandoning anything that really does happen or doesn't happen, I would like to maybe take the Infinity Gauntlet, put it on, and then strangle him with it. And then say, like, bye, Daddy, or something.
This question is for the entire panel. Lauren from Charlotte, if you could wield one Infinity Stone, just one, which one do you think your character would choose to help enhance their powers and why? Soul, power, time.
Time is fun, right?
Yeah, I think Cap might use time.
I mean, I could see Cap going back in time and dealing with some unfinished business.
To be honest, that's kind of because I couldn't really remember all the other stones. Time is the first one that came to mind. Time would be fun. I would enjoy the time
We're talking about
stone
you.
just myself.
Yeah.
We're talking about us or our character.
I mean, either one. Let's make this safe. It could be you. I feel like that's a safer realm for everyone to play in.
I don't know if I could just pick one.
Oh,
I want
you're a
to
smart man.
Oh, you can't just have one, huh? It's typical Ronan. So greedy.
All right. So a question that goes right into it, since you can't pick just one. Kelly Dumas from Lombard, Illinois. If you had the Infinity Gauntlet with all of the stones in real life, not your character, safe zone, what would you do with it?
The things I would say might be too political for a I think I've alienated enough of my base. I think it's pretty clear what I'd probably do.
All right, we're going to take this into a safer realm. We're going to go to live questions. I don't know if safer is right, but we're going to try this. We're going to go for it. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right, so we have some fan questions. So I have rules. You have to state your name, and you have to speak into the mic, and you have to say who you're asking the question to. Deal? Yes. I did not hear everyone in that line say deal. Deal?
Deal.
Great. You got there first. You sprinted. Go ahead. It's all you.
Hi, I'm Rosalind. I'm from Cozumel, Mexico.
Hello.
And thank you. Okay, my question is for Chris. What was your last line in front of the camera as Cap before they said, "That's a wrap"?
What was my last line? It was something really stupid. It was something really dumb, which I also probably can't give away. I think
You
it was.
you can.
Well, it was a line. I think it was a line to. No, what was my last line?
He was overwhelmed with emotion.
Well, it was it was reshoots. So you're doing these little picks and pops, and it's these little. It's just little things that they need. It might have been a line to Paul Rudd. He wasn't there, but it was a stupid line. The line wasn't memorable to me. The day was more memorable than the line.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye.
Sure. Oh, man. I came here to try and bring the needle back to the middle, and I'm just...
The panel's still going. We got this.
Hi, I'm Savannah.
Hi.
My question is for Chris, but it's open to whoever wants to answer it. I know you have experience with directing, and I was wondering if you could direct another movie, your dream movie, what would you want to do?
Wow, what's the dream movie? I don't know.
Like genre, like ballpark, doesn't have to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I grew up on movies like the Spielberg era of like E.T. and I think something that has more of a family vibe. I don't know. I think if those movies are done well, there's a real market for them. So maybe something in that arena.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
All right, next question up.
It was a terrible answer. I'm sorry. It was like a non-answer. I knew it as I said it.
Hi, I'm David.
Hi, David.
Lee, I love your shoes. Chris, I love your everything.
I was really going to hope... I got to be honest. I was hoping my shoes were going to get some love, too. But, I looked up at the big screen. And
They're killer,
when I
promise.
looked at the big screen, the first thing I saw was Lee's shoes as well. And I was like, oh, shit, he has good shoes on. Oh, God, come on.
My question...
Shouldn't have to be that big on screen. Those are great shoes, though.
My question is just kind of open. It's
The old double knot.
Who would win in a fight between Captain America and Dendril?
And who?
The Elven King.
Oh, come on. Wait, are you just trying to embarrass me? Or? like I'm gonna lose a lot of these fights. Cap doesn't bring an innate sense of like super power and strength to the table. He's got a lot of heart. He's got a real clean moral compass, but for the most part,
He's kind of a bitch.
well, come on.
I'm kidding. I love you so much.
Thank you.
I am so kidding.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Thank you so much,
Ronan just might
David.
beat him. Ronan might beat him.
I'm so sorry. I don't.
we
I'm
will-
gonna put on my Captain America underwear when I get home to apologize.
Thank you so much, David. We're gonna move to the next question.
Love you, David.
How you doing over there, Chris? You good? Oh.
Hello. My name is Isabel. And so this is a question for anyone who really wants to answer. So what is the best line or your favorite line that anyone or your character has said throughout the 10 years of Marvel being awesome?
Oh.
Is that why everything's on fire? I thought that was one of the funniest lines. It was from the second Thor movie, but I just thought it was hilarious. The end.
There you go. Thank you.
You guys are up. No, you.
I can't remember any of my lines.
I always cheat and I'm like, I am Groot.
That's
Done.
not one of my lines, though.
But it's any. It's any
Oh.
anybody in any part of the Marvel universe. What's your favorite line?
Oh, of anyone's lines. Oh no, this is made even harder. There's so many to choose from. I quite liked, Mantis.
Yes.
When she's like, the crabby puppy makes me want to die. Her delivery of that just pleases me so much.
I love it.
Yeah, I liked when Star-Lord called Ronan a turd blossom.
That's a good one.
That was there it is.
It's a good one.
All right.
Thank you so
Good one.
much.
You can't beat that one.
What is a turd blossom?
That's why it's a good line, right? She asks
makes
the
you
deep
think.
questions.
Hi, I'm Lauren, and I have a question for all of you. Do you have a certain song you like to listen to before you go and shoot that really pumps you up?
That's a good question.
I've been listening to a lot of Led Zeppelin for Nebula. I feel like that's what she would appreciate if she came to Earth and listened to some human music.
Great. They did really good with Ragnarok. Didn't they have Led Zeppelin as their
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
That's a great song.
immigrant song, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Led Zeppelin's great. No, I don't really have nothing. I don't have a cool response, so I'm just gonna.
It doesn't have listen to the national anthem.
Cool is relative.
All right, Wind Beneath My Wings. Really just ready to go.
Amazing Grace.
Oh, I don't have a good answer. I'm sorry. I wish I did.
That's fine. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
All right.
Hi, I'm Maeva from France, so thank you for replying to my question about Nebula getting like Thanos. My question is for Chris. So how did you address the fact that Steve is now a fugitive? In the comics, he became the nomad. He's letting go of his shield and the government. So how did you find about, his evolution?
Well, that was one of the best ways. It's hard to kind of have a guy whose moral compass is so sound to give him conflict, and they've done a good job, in my opinion, in the Marvel world of not having to disturb what he believes is good, but change the things around him. I think initially in Winter Soldier they change how he views the system. He's a company guy. He believes in the military and the government, and they take that from him. And then with Civil War, they take his notion of family from him. So I think in order to kind of give the character some depth and conflict and an arc, ultimately, you have to kind of rock the boat a little bit. But luckily, in a way, he didn't have to change too much. It was just a matter of kind of reacting to the world around him. It wasn't so much a struggle from within.
Okay, thank you.
Another kind of non-answer. Sorry, my answers are just not that great tonight. Sorry.
No, they are great. They're good.
Stop.
Hi, I'm Monica, and my question is also for Chris. So Steve has had to watch Bucky, spoilers, I guess? Had to watch Bucky die twice in his lifetime.
Were you worried about giving spoilers to this audience?
Well, I
It'd be amazing if someone in here was like, shh, I haven't seen it.
How has Steve kind of processed that, or how is he going to have to live with the fact that he's had to watch his best friend die not once, but twice, right in front of him, and there's nothing he could do about it?
Well, I think that's one of the more precious relationships for Steve Rogers. You know, it's one of the few relationships that's been able to transfer into modern day. It's one of the few relationships that he can identify as anything we would call home. Yeah, I don't know how far I can go into that response. Yeah, I'm gonna have to maybe leave it there. You know, I've already gotten myself in enough hot water with Marvel in the past couple weeks. I'm just gonna leave that one alone.
All right, thanks so much.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to lift this a little bit because I'm really tall. I'm Mackenzie, and my question's for Chris as well, but I'm going to go away from Marvel to help you out a little bit. You just started on Broadway for a couple months. Do you see yourself going back to Broadway anytime soon?
Oh, yeah, it was great. You know, I grew up doing theater as a kid, and I was kind of terrified to do it, and then after a couple weeks, kind of felt like riding a bike, and it's such a different approach to a, you know, not to sound pretentious, but a craft that you feel familiar with over enough years. It's a new way in, and it's exciting for a lot of reasons, and I absolutely will do it again. It's just a matter of fitting it into my schedule.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you.
Sure.
Hi, my name's Sarah. First, I wanted to say, Lee, I saw you in Angels in America, and you were fantastic. But my question is for Chris. I was wondering if you... Sorry. I mean, you can all answer it if you want. I'm just trying to save time. Do you have any methods that you use to embody the character of Steve Rogers?
Well, initially, I've said this before, initially when I first took the role, I had a buddy I grew up with named Charlie, who was just a good guy. You know, I think most people know someone in their lives who just embody what it is to be good. He's very much without ego, and he's very balanced and measured and compassionate. He wants more for other people than for himself, innately, and that's just a really admirable quality. It's not as, you know, ubiquitous as I think we'd all hope it is, certainly now. So maybe in the beginning stages of the character, I would think about Charlie a little bit, and maybe in the last few incarnations of the character, it's felt a little bit closer to home, where I haven't had to search for it so much. I feel a little bit more connected with the role, but certainly at its origins, I'll tip my hat to Charlie.
Thank you.
My name is Peyton, and my question is for Chris. But you do have to hand wash it, but I made a shirt that says, "I don't like it" for you. So I want to give it to you, but I don't really know
Great.
how.
It's not really a question, but I'll appreciate the gesture.
Yeah. So I don't know really how to give it to you.
Just walk right up here. Watch this. I don't like it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name's Allison, and my question's for Karen. So we just saw Jodie Whittaker's first episode as the Doctor, and a lot of people. Have you not seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet, so no spoilers.
Okay.
Because I'm waiting to watch it with no, I haven't seen it yet. But it's because I'm waiting for my mother to watch it.
Okay.
Because she's a massive Whovian, so I thought I'd share that with her.
All right. Well, maybe just from like the trailers then. So a lot of people are saying that she has a really similar energy to Matt's Doctor. So I was just wondering, yeah, how you think she and Amy would get on.
I think they would get on really well. I mean, I have not seen her in action yet, but I think Amy would be confused and then tickled by the fact that her doctor is now a woman. I think, yeah, I mean, and if she's similar to Matt's energy, then I think they would get on pretty well.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Thank you.
I hurt my foot earlier today, and I'm realizing now that sprinting up here was a big mistake. So my question is for Chris, but I kind of want to hear everyone else's answer as well. So over the last decade, which, by the way, I have to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for everything. But over the last decade, what is the most embarrassing thing that has happened to you on set?
Anybody have anything?
Is it like on a Marvel set or just
on
any
the Marvel
set?
set? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, when I fight wearing those prosthetics, the sweat doesn't have anywhere to go. So sometimes when they take it off me, it like actually shoots out and onto people.
Oh
no. Which is worse for them. But it's pretty embarrassing.
I'm trying to think, and I know there's something good, and I just can't think of it. I don't know. I can't think of anything embarrassing.
Well, then what's a fun thing that happened to you on set?
I mean, I think there was a time that I fell down in the costume and I couldn't get back up again because it was so big, and some people had to heave me up.
I wish I saw that.
We're going to let Chris think about this one, and he's going to come back to it.
I might have to think. I'll let it marinate for a second, and I have no shame in coming back to it
right.
once it comes to me.
What is happening? Someone's taxi's here.
Perhaps it's the TARDIS. It's just ready for everyone to get in.
A new sound?
It's got a new sound. So all of a sudden it hunks.
It's different.
I mean, there's a lot of buttons in the TARDIS.
That's true.
And levers and switches. We have another question.
Hi guys, first off, my name is Sarah, and I wanted to thank you for all the work you've done for the last 10 years bringing our favorite characters to life. And my question today is for Chris. What's your favorite memory of filming with Sebastian Stan?
Of filming with Sebastian? Probably it's from the first movie. I think with those memories, him and I were both in a very similar place in terms of excitement and uncertainty and hope, and I think we both were a little bit of a deer in the headlights, unsure of what the commitment meant, unsure of what the journey ahead would mean, and but he's such a sweetheart. He's such a good guy. He's such, you all know. I mean, it comes out of his pores. He's just such a sweet guy, and I really couldn't have imagined kind of dipping our toe into these uncertain waters at that stage with anyone other than him. He was so sweet, and I think that first movie, him and I just were so terrified together. It made for a lot of nice memories.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Hi, Chris. I'm Chris. Our parents named us well. My favorite scene of all times is between Steve and Peggy in the hospital room. He gets up to give her some water. He sits back down. She looks at him like she's seeing him for the first time.
That
and
Haley
then
Atwell, man.
Yeah. The smile through the anguish was really beautiful, really moving. I cry every time I see it. So my question for you is, what was your favorite scene to film?
Well, that's up there. I have a little bit of a, I mean, Haley is phenomenal, and I think that arc for the character gives a lot of dimension, and it's invaluable, and I really, truly don't think anyone could do it the way Haley does it. I have I have a real soft spot for my scenes with Downey. I think, you know, they do a nice job of giving Cap a lot of conflict in a lot of different ways from a lot of different places, and I personally just really like the specific juxtaposition that Cap and Tony pose, and over the course of these movies, I think they've had a really complex dynamic that I think can be related to on a number of levels. It's not just family, it's friendships, it's brothers, there's, to me, the most identifiable relationship for me personally within the character's arc.
Can I get a smile?
No. Yes. You imagine if I said no? She asked for a smile. If.
All right.
I suck today.
I like to apologize. I just got over an anxiety attack on Tuesday, so I'm a little bit shaky. Wow, you guys are just so iconic. You guys are so amazing. Karen, I love you. Lee, you're my spirit animal. Chris, you and I should hang out one time, just for one time.
Okay.
You know. Okay, so dealing with something that I have anxiety, I'm going into a communication career, something I actually want to be doing something just like this in my near future, but I have really, really bad anxiety. And I know, Chris, you have it, and you guys can chime in as well. So how do you guys deal with, how do you guys deal with anxiety like that, like severe anxiety? I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Thank you so much for that question.
You don't have to apologize for anything.
I mean, well, you know, I was reading a lot about this because I just love reading like psychology essays and stuff. And like one of the things, which is sort of the thing you don't want to hear, because I definitely have suffered from anxiety. And one of the biggest ways to get over it is just repeated exposure. So it's like you have to do the thing that you're scared of over and over again until it dissipates a little bit, which is not the thing you want to do. It's like exactly the opposite. But I would say just, it's easier said than done, but try and get yourself out there and doing it somehow.
I mean, you strike me as an incredibly brave person. To stand up in front of all of these people and speak your truth is pretty cool. So I'm not worried about you at all. I think you're going to do great.
Well said. Well said. I agree. I would say that for me personally, I like to kind of back myself into it. The more I remember how big things are, like if you just read a few things about, you know, just, I think it's easy to forget the vastness of everything, you know, the Milky Way galaxy being 100,000 light years across. Well, when you remember, it's so easy to kind of become a little myopic and think our world is the only, just what we see in front of ourselves. But when you remember how big it is and how long it's existed without our involvement at all, to some people that might feel scary because it reduces our experience to a bit of an insignificant level. To me, I feel liberated. So what I use to kind of mitigate the fear of stress and anxiety is remember just how big it all is, and all of a sudden I don't worry so much.
All right, so we're going to have a couple more audience questions. I am so sorry for everyone in the back, but use these questions wisely.
Of course. Hello, guys. It's awesome to see you today. My name is Andrei. I'm from Russia.
And I have a question for Lee, which is very important for me. Lee, what enemy do you like better, Thranduil or Ronan?
Wait, what was the first enemy?
Thranduil.
It was from The Hobbit. I was in The Hobbit.
Oh.
It's not all Marvel.
Sure. Wait, what was the guy in Hobbit?
Yeah, the Elf King.
Because he was so smooth.
The smoothest.
So smooth, but also ruthless.
Oh yeah, all those things.
But it also felt to me like he had seen a lot. A lot of
He
times
was-
when
he
he
was
was
real
ruthless,
old.
he
He
would
was
kind
like
of couple it by
3,000
saying,
years old.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Yeah, he said
I have
3,000.
felt dragon fire.
That's it.
Whatever you said.
How many times have you seen it, Chris?
Too many. I am a huge Lord of the Rings / Hobbit fan. Huge. That is like my -- hangover movie. that whole series. But come on, that's where you say I have felt dragon fire.
That's it.
Looks really good. Ronan to me just seems like a real, just a narcissist, really. He's powerful, but he's kind of a dick. At least your dude in The Hobbit, I think he has his people in mind, and I'm being real. I'm getting a lot I'll tell you, I think I like your boy from The Hobbit more.
So what do you think, Lee?
Does it matter?
No, come on, I want to hear it.
No, I don't have a favorite. You can't pick favorites. I can't pick favorites. You know, I can't pick favorites. You know, who else kids in here? You know, you can't
It's like
pick
Sophie's
favorites.
Choice.
Your kids, you can't. You know.
What's his name?
All right, next question.
There you go.
He's smooth, man. He's smooth as fuck.
If only you could hear what's going on up here.
Hi, my name's Margaret. You can call me Peggy. I promise I didn't change my name for the character. Wow, I'm so nervous. I'm forgetting things. I have a question for the captain. You wear a lot of different suits and costumes throughout the entire Captain America franchise. And without resorting to, the casual, in disguise streetwear, if you were to pick one of your costumes from Captain America that you had to wear every day for the rest of your life, which one would it be and why?
See, okay. I really was partial to the Winter Soldier cap suit. I just liked it. It was that kind of that all navy number. You know, it just to me, we called it the stealth suit. I don't know if that's actually made it out beyond what we would say on set, but yeah, it was the stealth suit to me was just it was just cool. But you know, I've loved many suits. Maybe not the first Avengers. Maybe not that suit, but the other suits were great. Yeah.
All right.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Annie. And before I start, I just want to say thank you guys for coming out. It's super cool. You guys are so busy and you're filming all the time, and I really appreciate it. You're heroes on screen and off. All three of you are so influential, and I really look up to all three of you. Not just because I'm short, but because I have to look up, but I look to you. That being said, what was the biggest moment in your life, any given time, off screen that had left the biggest impact on you as a person?
On screen?
Off screen.
Off screen.
So the biggest moment in your life that impacted you off screen.
My birth.
I don't know how you beat that.
I can't answer after that.
It's a very impactful moment.
Yes, the most.
All right.
I might say Lee's birth. Yeah, I agree.
Wow.
I mean, I agree. It's of course Lee Pace's birth.
Lee's birth. Nothing was the same.
For all of us.
Impacted us all. So I would love to close out panels, and we're not going to close out just quick. We have a couple more questions. Just on a personal note, right? So you've all been able to play superheroes, but in each one of your lives, there have been superheroes. Who are your personal superheroes and why?
Can I choose Stanley Kubrick? Oh my God, I just love his movies. He's just a screen superhero maker of movies. The Shining, A Clockwork Orange, Barry Lyndon, throwing that one out. Yeah, I just love him so much.
Lee?
I would say anyone who gets out and votes. There is a big election coming up, and we need all of you and all of your friends to get out and get your voice heard. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah. God, so well said. I mean, there's such a opportunity to recognize people who have kind of bucked the system and been brave enough to stand on their own 2 feet and be heard for the common good, not just for themselves. And that certainly connects to what Lee said. I'll stick to a bit more of a platitude. I'll say my parents. You know what I mean? I know it's an easy answer, but I don't know that anything that I process on a daily basis would be the way it is without the impact of my parents. So I'll say them.
So while we can talk a lot about the upcoming Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain Marvel movies that are coming out in the next couple of years, what else and what other projects do you have coming down the line for each one of you? Because I'm sure everyone is curious. Because I know you've been directing and screenwriting, you've been doing stage, there's been Broadway. What else is coming down the line for you all?
Well, actually, I directed a movie starring Lee Pace.
It's the character too.
So yeah, that's going to come out on the 7th of December. It's called The Party's Just Beginning. It's actually a pretty serious film, even though it says it's a comedy on the internet, and then everybody's really weirded out when they watch it, because they're like, oh, you think this is funny? It's not a comedy. But Lee is totally incredible in it, and heartbreaking.
He's hilarious.
I have that coming out. Party's Just Beginning, a movie directed by Karen Gillan. And that's what I have really right now. And then what? I'm sorry? Oh, Driven. Oh, yes, another movie.
I thought you said Pippin, and I was like, what?
But
all
hey,
right, get some musical theater.
I have a fun idea.
Yeah, it's all right.
Pippin. I did a movie called Driven that I did, where I played John DeLorean. It's a really fun movie. We just went to Venice and Toronto. It'll be out soon. Yeah, it's a good time.
And Chris?
I'm about to start a little murder mystery with Daniel Craig in Boston. And then I'm going to do this thing next year with Kate Mara, this Neil Blomkamp movie. This actually a really, really cool script. I don't want to give too much away. We're gonna try and keep it a little ambiguous. And then I got something. I'm doing a limited series with Apple based on the novel Defending Jacob that I think is really cool, and a couple other things. But I'm not gonna go down my. I mean, that's enough. That's enough. That's all you get. That's enough. We're done.
Well, we have one more order of business, which we have to get up and we have to turn around and take a picture with this amazing audience. So, are you ready? You ready for picture time?
Hell yes.
Let's do it.